How about
Yes.
now?
Yes, you did.
That would have been tragic. That's a night. It's one of those things. I sit up straight in bed. I've done the show and I didn't record it.
We
Like
are
our
recording.
first show, I was supposed to record it on the Zoom on the iPad. No audio.
But you know what? It was very good practice for us that first show, even though it took us,
It sent me in a tailspin. We didn't do
I know,
another show for 6 weeks.
I know. But that's okay. We all have our process of, moving forward. So I'm Melinda McKinsey.
I'm Tom Wise. Thanks for stopping by and unpacking some shit. We've got a special guest coming up in about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Very excited. What's his name again?
It's Austin Daniels. I call him affectionately. I call him A Train because remember when who's the Buccaneers had a fullback and A was his name and he had the nickname A Train. Oh,
The
for God's
Buccaneers.
sakes!
The Buccaneers is a sports team, right?
It's a
It,
football. It's crazy. They call it football, but you play mainly with your hands.
why isn't it called handball then?
That's a good question. I mean, it's called football in Europe, and it's what we call it soccer.
This is why I don't watch sports because it
It's
doesn't
a
make sense.
crazy upside down world with there's
It
no
doesn't
explanation.
make sense. So, we Tom and I are friends. We like to start our show with topics. We talk about a lot of different things. What are your topics today on this Friday, kind sir?
I've got two topics. One is one is daddy, and the other is hoarding.
I'm so afraid. Daddy thing is okay. I have religion versus spirituality, favorite holiday decorations, myth busting, and dealing with grief. And very briefly, I just want to say it. I'm dealing with grief. My
Yes.
dog, Reagan, 15 years old, my little one-eyed chihuahua, we lost her suddenly. So we didn't have a show on Wednesday. Tom very kindly understood. I just needed 24 hours to catch my breath.
Of course.
And I'm still catching my breath. And right before we went on air, I just got a lovely email from my niece. She donated a book to the New York Library in Reagan's name. So I was like, oh,
I know. It's crazy how I mean it's pets are amazing. They don't
yeah.
judge, they don't question, they
It's
got
the
one
love.
deal.
And I will say, she picked up a lot of my traits. She would give side eyes to people. She wasn't the kind of dog. She was the kind of dog you could go up to and hold. She didn't like a lot of people. And so I loved her little personality. And it was unexpected, which makes it harder. But she was 15. And so, it's not like a car hit her or something like that. It was a health related thing. But I will say, for the first time ever with all my pets, in the past when I've lost a pet, I've gone to the vet. They put them to sleep because it's just been an emergency situation. In this particular case, we picked her up from the vet. She came home, and within an hour, she died in my arms very unexpectedly. But I will say, now that I've had some time to think about it, I'm very grateful that she was with me and that she wasn't at the vet clinic. And so I just want to thank everybody on social media that I've been bawling my eyes out. People are so lovely, and thank you, Tom. Tom called me right away and was very sweet, and just the love was just lovely. So as far as dealing with grief, I'm a crier. I like to cry, and
Absolutely.
I like to disengage. I spent all day just watching mindless
Of
television and not
course.
really dealing with life.
So just like a regular Tuesday.
Yeah, so it's what I do every day, which is nothing. But the sad thing was I had to work. I had to do two shows.
Really? It's an interesting thing. I mean, we've all anybody I hate to circling back to TV or whatever, but this can go to anybody who's has a thing to do in during a time of stress like that. I mean,
Yeah.
we've all I mean, we've all done stuff. I remember having to go on home shopping and do a show. It's just 9 minutes, whatever it is, and I forget what it was happening. My mom died or whatever it was. It was
Uh-huh.
horrible. And there's kind of an interesting little pause that you get, that delayed 12 minutes of delaying what you've been thinking about constantly for the last 2 days or
Yeah.
days or 22 hours or whatever it's been. And there's a little bit of relief in the fact that you force your brain to think about something else for a bit. So
Yeah,
there's a
that's
little relief
exactly what
there.
happened. I actually, I was like, I can do this, because it was the very next morning, and I was still just reeling. And so an hour before my segment, I looked it up and saw that it was a tape. And I thought, you know what? I've been with them 5 years. I've never missed a day, not a day. And I even made it when planes were delayed and I stayed up all night. Like I've worked really hard. But an hour before my tape, I thought, you know what? I can't even talk. So I sent my company an email and I just said, hey, here's what happened. Can we push it back? Now, this is a great thing about communication because Tom, you know, you and I'll say one thing and we cross our wires of what does that mean? In my little grief-stricken brain, when I said push it back, I meant another day.
Yeah, 6 weeks from now, please.
And another day. And they're like, Melinda, we're so sorry. Of course, we'll push it back an hour.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it 3:30.
So all it really did was like stretch out my grief of like, I can do this, you know. But I thought, you know what? They were being kind. I'm not going to go back and do that. So you know, I did it and nobody knew the difference. But I kept reminding myself when I was going through my divorce 10 years ago, the day after I caught my husband cheating, my ex-husband, I had a show the next morning. So I called my vendor and I was like, I can't do this, you know. And you know, my vendor said, it was actually Al Scuddy. He said, you will do this.
Al's famous for being empathetic. This doesn't sound like Al to me.
He's such a little cuddly bear. So and you know what? I will say he did me a huge favor because it forced me to get into a mindset. I took a shower because I wanted to wallow.
Absolutely.
And I had a lot of shows and, you know, people are counting on that, right? Like,
it's not like this. It's like we can take a day off of this. We can take a day off. Everybody lived their life. They checked out what's going on. Yeah, 1.5 people said what's going on. Everybody else could care less.
Right.
But but if you start missing days for work, there's a tumbling effect, the domino effect, where you're pushing people back. Yeah. Much like the NFL and COVID. If they have a COVID test, they push the games around. I'm sure I said it right before you said it.
The NFL is sports. Yes. And so, you know what, we all deal with grief in a different way. And I appreciate everybody giving me this space. Everybody's been very kind and no one has really pushed in because for me personally, I need space when I'm upset.
Of course.
Yeah,
absolutely. No need to, everybody gets their own way. And I think if you don't cry at the moment, you're going to cry 3 years from now while you're on the bus for no reason. You can't tamp it down. It's got to come out.
Yeah. And I will say one of the most beautiful things that was said to me is that I was talking to my niece last night and I was kind of bemoaning the fact that I felt like Reagan had, suffered a bit. And she said, this was so beautiful. She said, Melinda, she said, there's some beauty in suffering. She said, in childbirth, there's a lot of pain, but something good comes from it. And she said, with Reagan, you felt like she was suffering, but really all she wanted was to be with you. And she said, I think it was really beautiful. And I thought that's a really good way to look at it she wasn't alone at the vet's office.
No.
She wasn't. So
your pet dying naturally in your arms happens 1% of the time.
Yeah. And so I just thought, oh, what a lovely way to look at it. Cause I was beating myself up over some things. So anyway, thank you to everyone. I want to hear what this topic about daddy or dad is. I'm so afraid of what you've done. Is it what do you want me to tell you what I think it is?
Sure.
You said daddy? Did you say daddy or dad?
I said daddy.
You did say daddy. That puts me in a tailspin because honestly, when you hear daddy, you think of sugar daddy or, call me daddy. So I'm thinking all those things like it's some kind of a sugar daddy, call me daddy thing.
Well, I always try to give a little left turn, make you think you're going one way and we're going to go the other, right?
Yes.
But you were right.
Is that what you like to be called? Is that your thing?
Listen to me. No. There's a little turn here.
Okay.
So I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook, right? And there's a bunch of different single sites, singles Tampa people, singles in Florida, under 40, over 6 foot tall, whatever, 1,000 of them. Okay. And I'll pop in. Usually it's very depressing. People, why isn't there any good men out here? Why aren't there any good ladies out here? And I've always thought what I'm going to do is put all you guys in the same room and I'm going to just match you up because you don't have the skill set because it's, everybody's looking. I've always felt that everybody's looking to upgrade. You know, you're a 7 looking for a 9. You're a 9 looking for a 10. You're a 4 looking for a 6. It's like there's got to be a little self-realization at some point of what you're bringing to the table, right?
Yes.
So I enjoy getting in there, stirring the pot a little bit. I'm always a gentleman. I never say anything rude or crude or anything like that. I never do.
What?
It's a public record. Why would I do anything stupid?
No, you
Right?
would. But what
No.
did you do?
Well, somebody had a post, and I forget the specific details,
Okay.
and I just piped in and I said something funny. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Most of the comments aren't funny.
Uh-oh.
No, and it was fine. So like 2 days later, the woman who made the posting circles back and she private messages me, which
Oh.
never happens, right? And she says, here, I'll read it word for word.
Yes, read it.
And she just says, how old are you? Right?
Why?
Well, it's kind of a, single site. And she's like, oh, this funny man might have piqued my interest.
Okay.
That's what I'm extrapolating from this. I don't think she's selling me life insurance.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah.
So I said, hey, I'm 62. It seems like such a big number, right?
Okay.
And I said, and how old are you? I said, oh, by the way, I noticed we both voted for Biden, right?
See, I like how you added a little thing. It's so frustrating when you talk to men and it's just one word answers. That's lovely that you did that. So there's another conversation starter.
And then I also had couple of things about me. I said, but I'm 62. It's a big number, but I'm active. I play a little basketball, blah, blah, blah. Short sell, right? No big deal. Here's the response. You could be my father.
What? And the point of that statement is?
So going back in the 4 agreements, I'm unaffected by that, right? It's like, well, that was kind of odd. I mean, if somebody goes on my Facebook page, they can clearly see it doesn't take much math to figure out how old I am.
Right.
It's all a public record.
Right.
So then what?
Is that all she said?
That's all she said. You could be my father. She approached me.
Was that an invitation? You can be my father.
Here's my response. Role playing, I like it. I usually play the boss or occasionally the pool boy, but I guess I could be the dad. Her response, oh my God, get away.
Oh, really?
And then I said, wait a minute, you texted me, I answered your question. Then you tried to make me feel bad for being 62. I never asked you out.
Wow.
I didn't make you feel bad. I stated a fact. You can be my father. Don't be ridiculous.
Wow.
I said, how old are you? She says, good luck. I said, you know what? You were rude. You should say you're sorry. And if I was your dad, I'd make you say you're sorry.
Oh, good one.
Just kidding. I didn't say the last part.
I didn't think that you would, but that's a good clap back. She started it. She did insult you. She wasn't just stating a fact, because that's an unnecessary fact. She had to compare you to anybody. And that was rude. You know what?
I did like the role playing answer, huh?
No, the role playing answer was really good. When we go off air, you give me her name. I'm all about justice. We're not.
I think I've just come up with a 45-second bit now for my comedy act.
Oh, so
right?
She didn't even know how much she helped you.
Yeah, that's gold.
Seriously, what the fuck with people, man?
I mean, really. I mean,
Fuck.
I just had to laugh. I said, all right, either with this answer, she's going to think I'm really, playful and funny, or she's going to react the way she did.
It was funny, and she started.
Right. I wasn't blowing up her timeline. I was talking to my friend Faith. Almost had Faith come in and do the show on Wednesday, but she wasn't available. That would have been fun. We've done shows in the past. Faith and I used to do shows. Remember there was an app that it was before Facebook Live, that you could go out and do shows. I forget what it was called. I think there was a P involved. Anyway, we did probably a dozen shows together and had 3 viewers. It was fun.
Still fun though.
Uh-oh. Huh?
Is your friend here already?
Yeah. A Train on time and under budget. Let's find out. Let's meet Austin Daniels together. And here he. Where's my hat? I knew I needed a hat.
He has a bigger microphone than you.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm proud of what I've got.
Oh.
I don't have to buy a bigger microphone.
I shouldn't have pointed that out. It's clearly obvious.
It's
yeah. Hello. How's it going, everybody?
Austin, say hello to Melinda McKinsey, Melinda Austin Daniels.
Melinda, nice to meet you.
Yes, it's very impressive to meet you. So tell us about yourself, A Train.
Well, let me hang on. Who's the guy for the Bucks fullback? The original A Train.
I mean, I'm a baseball guy. You're a football guy.
You don't know that I was referring to a football guy when I called you A Train?
Well, I got the A, and I'm a giant hulking train, so I just kind of put it together there.
Oh, there was a Bucks fullback that was his nickname, A Train.
Yeah.
I thought you were referring to a porn film. I didn't know.
What?
A porn film. I thought you were talking about a porn film when you called him A Train.
My mic is bigger, so.
Anyway, I know Austin from HSN.
Mm-hmm.
He was multitude of folks that have made there, but you know what? Only a few folks that I would really engage in. And Austin and I used to be on the same shows together very often, and he was a dependable go-to fella.
Well, thank you, Tom. It was always fun to see you around and talk to you. So, yeah, positive memories from.
And what was your position there exactly?
Oh, I had a few positions. I started off in backstage, was the visual coordinator for a while. And then after that, I basically moved on to a role where I was scheduling, you guys to make sure that you would get your hair and makeup done and all that other stuff. So that's obviously that makes
hideous.
Sense. Yeah. It made more sense when I had long hair. It made a lot more sense then.
So now you've got a podcast.
I do. It's called Pointless 64. So I've actually been podcasting a while. And then after the crazy 2 years, I had this podcast idea called Pointless 64, where we take 64 of something, put it into a bracket, and each season it's a new topic. So,
like best cookies.
Mm-hmm. It's like the NCAA tournament. So
I love it.
Last season we did Major League Baseball mascots. And airing this Sunday night, Monday morning, whatever you want to call it, at midnight, we're doing Christmas songs because it's the holiday season. So,
I love it.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Do you always have? I mean, I gotta imagine you have a hard time coming up with 64 of anything.
So it's very empirical based. So there are other podcasts that do this format.
Yeah, I've heard this idea.
Yeah, mine is very empirical based, where I go into it and find research as to how they're properly seated. So it's not randomly seated anywhere. For Major League Baseball mascots, we split them up by American League and National League.
Well, Melinda would have a lot of opinions on that. Go on.
Yeah, and then it was seated, by years of service or years active and stuff like that. So
I know, but are you going to have a hard time coming with 64 fruits or 64 pies or 64?
Well, I look into
TV
it before. I think one idea at one point was to do Robin Williams movies was going to be one season, but he believe it or not, didn't do 64 movies, unfortunately.
Probably did 17.
It was I want to say it was close. I want to say it was almost 50.
Don't ever correct me on the podcast.
Don't correct Tom. You'll never come back.
Yeah,
I only throw it in there when I'm right, when I know I'm right. I don't know, but
wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, that's usually how it is. I go into it beforehand. I'm like, is this plausible? And then I go for it. And no, it's not enough. Or, okay, we'll just wait for more or something like that. So.
Well, you're like Melinda in the fact that you had gainful employment in the HSN business, and then you decided to quit and move to obscurity, I think.
Yes. I'm in a different time zone right now. I'm an hour behind over in Panama City.
Oh, okay. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
And what's happening there?
Well, we're in lockdown, and not really, but everybody's, doing that quarantine thing. So it's not it's so weird. I moved here, and about 2 months later, once I, got facilitated and sold my condo and everything like that, it was like, all right, well, let me go explore the city. And they're like, no, you're not. That was about it. I did get a chance to go to a convention in Pensacola, which was really fun. So Pensacola is a nice area, which is a little bit west of where I am.
So what are you doing to pay the bills?
So basically what
Besides
I
the
do,
podcast, which is a cash flow
oh yeah,
cow,
I'm
I'm
making
sure.
tons of money on that. But what do I do? So it's kind of complicated, but basically I'm in like foreign trade. So we work with customs. I know it sounds like that, but I like, let me put it this way. So you know how stuff gets imported, that obviously.
Absolutely.
So there are like zones you can set up to sort of like in a nicer way. So you can keep employment here,
Yeah.
get a bunch of parts in, and then send a product out. So there's ways to do that and then save on like taxes and encourage employment in the US. And we're a company that facilitates that. So all the forms are done right and all that other stuff. So basically,
Belinda, can you repeat
exactly
how he makes money?
Yes. He is an importer exporter.
Oh,
Like George Costanza.
Exactly what I was going to say.
What's the name of the company?
Mandalay Industries. Yeah.
So wait a minute. That seems kind of crazy to me. Let's just unpack that a little bit more. So did you have this job when you moved to Panama?
Yes. So another one of our HSN friends basically had one. And then when I was looking for work after my time at HSN, I wound up there actually. So I kind of took a leap of faith and wound up here. So
really? So how did your days begin? A bunch of emails?
Yeah. I mean, like, to be honest, like, isn't that everybody's day?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm still not clear 100% as to what you're up to.
It's hard to explain.
How long ago did you leave HSN?
How long ago did I leave Tampa area?
Yeah.
Let's see, what year is it? It's 2020. I have to really remember, right?
Yeah.
So I left.
It's been about 3.
Yeah. I guess about a year ago.
Oh.
About a year ago. Yeah.
Fresh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I know when I left HSN about, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, people really came after me and said, "You're insane. You're never going to make money like you made money there. What are you doing?"
Mostly me.
Yeah, mostly Tom. And everybody told me it was a terrible idea. I moved to New York with no job because I just had it with my life. And I will say it's one of the best things I've done in my life to take a fresh start like that, because as great as HSN was, I feel like I hit my wall there and I was as high as I was ever going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to freshen things up. And that also explains why I never crossed paths with you, because I think that's right when I started, right around that time. So we may have crossed paths, but I was also on overnights for the first 2 years. So that would be would be a thing too.
So do you have any funny stories about it, HSN, or any crazy stories you like to tell?
We like behind the scenes dirt on people. Go.
Anything on
dirt on people?
You got something on Lou Caputo?
Lou Caputo.
Well,
I know Lou Caputo is a Sharknado fan, so I don't know if he's public with that yet. But
there we go. That's the stuff we're looking for. Go on.
Yeah, he.
But Austin, what about, or should I call you A-Train? I don't know if I can infringe on that.
I'm the only one that calls him A-Train.
You can pick a different vehicle if you'd like.
I'm gonna come up with something for the show's over. So the behind the scenes stuff is fun. You don't mention who it is, you just tell the horrible story, and then people will call us later and ask. That's the most fun part of it all. People guess, and it's just fun to see.
Mostly guess that the horrible stories are associated with scrapbooking. And cooking.
Is that what you did? You did scrapbooking? Okay.
No, but I'm just saying there's a horrible story. We're gonna.
I love scrapbooking. You didn't have to do anything. You just walked around and go, "Is this? Yeah, okay." And then you'd.
No, you're right. I did scrapbooking. I did beauty. I did electronics. I did outdoor goods. So I
did everything.
Did kitchen, because I'm not really skilled in any one area. So
you're the jackknife.
They just threw me out there. But you're right about scrapbooking. That was the hardest category I did, because we had to do everything ourselves, because there's no way for you guys to know what anything was. So scrapbooking was rough. But like, did you have any encounters with celebrities or anybody where you're like, wow, that was crazy?
So I'll say it this way. I was pretty I never really took anything personal there, and I think you don't have to. But I'll tell one, but I remember laughing it off. So there was a guest,
Yes.
somewhat high profile-ish, and he or her, well, I mean, most of
Does his
most of the
name
guests-
rhyme with Boney Glittle?
I like Tony a lot.
I like Tony a lot too.
I'll be straight up. Like, well, when I had the long
Thanks for
hair, I
giving away
remember
my
Tony walking by
clue.
and going, "Nice hair." And Tony's great. I like Tony a lot.
Yeah, I love Tony.
Yeah.
Um,
Go on, him or her. Go on.
So,
I
yeah,
apologize.
there was a time they were selling shoes, and this person could be whatever. And then I put out the shoes that were next in line,
Okay.
and they didn't want to sell those at that point. So they took the shoes and like chucked them at my back. And I just turned around and went, really? And then he or her started like laughing at me. And I went, oh, okay. And then I remember on headsets, like, what are they doing? It's like, apparently they don't want to air these shoes. So I don't, I never took it. I just kind of went, this is for real. You know, that was but it's like, I've heard of other people getting it. And it's like, I feel like you can mitigate a lot of those situations by being the bigger person in that. And that's kind of what I did. And they ended up looking kind of foolish in the end. Like, not me. I was kind of like, okay.
Well, Faith Marlowe sells shoes.
Who?
We
Faith?
can rule that person out. So.
My friend Faith Marlowe.
I was gonna guess that it was Lauren. What the hell's her name? That celebrity.
Beatty.
No, Lauren, the older model lady.
You can't, he's not going to confirm or deny.
I'm not going to confirm or deny.
No, I'm simply guessing. Don't say it. She would go on set and she was known to throw things. She was on set once when I was in the area doing beauty, and one of the makeup artists came in to touch her up, and she got furious and said, "What are you doing here?" The makeup artist, and she started throwing things at the makeup artist, and it was just like,
yeah, it's
excuse me. I mean, I didn't do anything because I didn't want to lose my job, but I wanted to punch her in the throat. I'm like, you're so disrespectful.
well, that's the thing. It's like, you just kind of, I don't know. The way I saw it was just kind of, all right, you know, everybody's on the high, whatever it is, and I'll live with it. And
Well, you know, and someone, no one gets to throw anything at anybody.
I
But
agree.
Lauren Hutton. That's who.
In a crazy defense, when you're on TV, there's nowhere to go. There's no
Exactly.
cough button, and there's only one way you can signal that you need someone's walking away. I need that person's attention.
Yeah.
Give me this baseball.
Yeah. Oh, baseball. That wouldn't end well. I could take a shoe. I don't know if I could take a.
I'm just saying,
baseball
but
to
it
the
seems
back.
extremely rude. But if you're in your head, I can't. We're not
Oh
explaining.
no.
Well, we've all been there where it's like something bad's going to happen. I got the next item is wrong. There's no quantity in size 3. Then no one knew that I told them
Right.
before the show.
Right.
We can't do that item.
Right.
In all of your years there, and there have been many, name on one hand the amount of times you've thrown something at somebody.
Who, me
Yes.
You?
or
Yeah.
Austin? Austin probably does it on the regular.
Yeah, I just walk out of my house and throw things at
I don't believe I've ever thrown anything at anybody.
Right. Right.
No, I'm not defending it, but I get the frustration. You had a conversation with somebody before the show. Oh yeah, we're not going to do that, and then here comes that friggin' thing you told them not to do, and it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And you got nothing. You had not. Oh, I got shoes in front of me. I don't have paper wads. I don't have blow darts.
And then unfortunately, the person like me is like not involved at all in anything.
Of course, it's
know?
like you're sending up a flare in the middle of the night. Hopefully somebody. I don't expect the captain of the ship to see it, but hopefully a hand on the deck will look at this and put two and two together. There's somebody on that island. Maybe somebody else needs to know that this person's in peril.
But yeah, it wasn't the end of the world. The ended up person laughing because I kind of looked back and go, I gave them the look and they went, all right, that was a little embarrassing. So
Yes, yeah.
For
I'm
them.
not defending. I'm not defending it now.
For them. Yeah. I mean, Tom, have you had on-air things where like a host embarrassed you or made you feel uncomfortable and you were on air? Where you're just like, oh gosh, I have to deal with this now?
I'm really thinking hard. I've had times where I didn't have an. I've been asked a question and I kind of asked, don't ask me that question because we're not gonna like the answer, or I'm gonna have to lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done things embarrassing on TV, but nothing forced by somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I had the Atosha guy was on drunk when he was selling the Satoshi coins. The guy that found Fisher is his last name, and he was famous for. I'm A-Train. This is way before your time, but Mel Fisher found all these Atosha gold coins in the Keys.
Oh
Okay.
goodness.
He found chests. Was a millionaire. They did museums, Atosha coins, and he famously was cutting in people up for a piece of the action on bar napkins in Key West. You're in for 3%. Give me 10 grand. He was a mess. But he had this 6 foot long, probably longer than that, gold chain around his neck that he harvested from the ship, and he was clearly, drunk on his ass. He could give a shit. He's on because they were selling the Atosha coins. They were selling a couple of Atosha coins at Home Shopping, but he was fun, but unpredictable, but never did anything crazy to me.
Austin, on your side, did you guys kind of know behind the scenes, like there are particular people you're like, hey, be careful around this one, tiptoe around this one?
Well, yeah. And then it was always funny because, like in my personal approach to stuff, and maybe that's why I got along with, I would say it's like,
he's easy going.
I think so. And I would even say most of the guests there were pretty easygoing too. But the thing is, it's like there were people that they would prep you for and have this air. And I would just kind of be like I knew what it was, but it's like they're people too. You know what I'm saying? So I would be like, hey, what do you need? What's going on? And then you develop that. And then when you do that, the less anybody's going to get any animosity towards anybody.
You're just here to help.
Like I remember like a certain talent, could be a host, could be guest, going, freaking out about, and I was like, listen, you've worked with me. You know what I'm going to do. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. And then they went, okay.
And you know what?
Took care of it.
You come from a long line of 20 somethings that handled a lot of stressful shit over the 30 years of home shopping. There's always one guy in the crew that has to be your go-to guy. As a guest or a host, you walk on the set and you evaluate everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This one's asleep. This one could care less. This one, she's trying hard, but that's not my go-to person. And you scan and you go, oh yeah, here's the guy. If the shit hits the fan, I'm going to go to this guy. It used to be my boy Lewis, 15 years ago. I mean, we're going live in 37 seconds, and the camcorder is not hooked up to the damn thing. He's calm down, I got it. As we're clocking down, he's training, figuring out the chords, figuring out the things, making a call to the back room, and then sure as shit, it all works. But you got to have that one guy on the set. Because there's a lot of people walking around like, that's always been a fun group, but not everybody's capable of handling an emergency and being calm while it's real time, baby. There's no stop. We're going up in 15 seconds.
Right.
And if I don't have this camcorder working, I got 15 minutes and this is integral. It's got to work because I've got to project my pictures up on the screen.
Right. So Austin, tell me.
I'm getting stressed just thinking about it.
Listen, just between you and I, Austin, what was Tom's reputation? Like, what did people say about him when were they like, is he one of the ones that said, don't look me in the eye?
Tom, earliest memories I can remember of Tom is, I don't know. I was just working. Like, here's a water light. One of the first memories I remember about working with Tom here. And yeah, I mean, let's be real. I mean, the crew, they talk about, it's like, okay, this guest is this guest is this. And Tom's on the, all right, check in, say hello, and see if he needs anything, but he'll be fine.
Self-sufficient.
I think Tom is notorious for just walking on at the last minute. Like, I'm cool. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everybody, I needed things. I needed wires. I needed cords. I needed power. And I never was, even in the middle of a show, I would signal like, this isn't working. Somebody's down there, plugging stuff in. Everybody was great. I've never had any really bad experiences with the crew.
That's the thing. So if like we realized that, I realized that certain guests, have certain guests maybe a little needier than others, but you have the ones that aren't. And then when they need something, they're like, oh, we better make sure we get this because they're not, asking for stuff all the time. So if like you needed something, we'd be like,
I'm saving my chip. I'm saving my chip for when I need it.
Yeah, this isn't like he needs
I'm helping roll out. I'm helping take off. What else do you need? Right?
We've been like, there's times I'm sure where it's like, we got this, man. We got you.
I know. I mean, it's a hot swap. I know this is, everybody's grabbing a cord, grab a cable, get something out of the way. We're, shit's flying.
Oh, the hot swap.
All right. We got 3 more minutes with you. Mr. Daniels, what
Yes.
happened? How did you find a new romance?
Oh,
Melinda and I are
goodness.
very interested.
So
Was there candy involved?
was there candy?
Yeah.
Like there was a van and I said I had candy and Nintendo. No, it wasn't like that.
Tell me how you roll.
Is it
It
because of the
was.
microphone?
I'm sorry.
Is it because of your microphone?
Oh my God! Look at his. Big
Eventually,
microphone.
but
Is it a big
yeah.
microphone in your pants?
she did notice that when I walked in the
Uh-huh.
bigger microphone. No, this was actually an interesting thing. It was somebody I like reconnected with. So I feel like during this whole quarantine thing,
A reconnection in Panama?
no, she actually doesn't live. She's not like local to me. So
My
she's
eyes
2
are
hours
flashing.
away. It's she's a real person. It's
Go on.
And
Are there monthly payments involved?
no, I just cook her wings and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. But no, she was somebody I just reconnected with over quarantine. I think other people have done this too, like just old friends, like your podcast too, right? And you're just kinda
Absolutely.
like, okay. And then it just kind of turned into, oh, okay, this is just gonna be a fun little thing. And then over Thanksgiving break, it turned into, it's like, oh, I guess we really want to stick around for each other. So we
That's
like,
nice.
yeah, we had a big long, we had the relationship talk.
Wow.
Thanksgiving.
Okay,
yeah.
I've got other questions. Let's just not jump to that.
Sure.
So does she live in the area or do you guys commute or what's going on?
She does not live in the area. She actually like lives down where we're in your area, Tom.
All right, so she's 4 or 5 hours away.
Yeah, but we've been making, it's been kind of easy. It's like, just come up, make the visits. I mean, the unfortunate thing is we're both in an understanding where like that courting system couldn't really happen. It's not like I could like take her out to a restaurant or something like that, which
This
is
is a
unfortunate.
great this quarantine is the big secret about the quarantine is guys don't have to spend a lot of money now. Well, let's go get takeout and we can sit on a park bench.
But to be fair, she's not this high maintenance, I need a 5-star restaurant type thing. I think she's pretty satisfied with, just the hanging out phase and all that other stuff. So it's a lot of, come up, watch some TV, eat, talk, hang out, connect with somebody. And
Nice.
not a lot of distractions of dressing up to go see,
Okay.
I don't know.
I've
some
got more.
movie we've decided.
Melinda, shall I continue to ask questions or do you want to jump in?
I want to know who started the relationship.
Yes.
Who started it?
Who?
Like, what do you mean who started it? Like,
Who connected with whom?
One person has to say, "Hey, what are we?"
Yeah, well, why don't you come up? Well, yeah, let's Netflix and chill.
well, it didn't go quite like that, but she brought that up because it was like, okay, what are we? And then that was
Oh, okay.
Few days
Let's cycle back even before that. Who reconnected first? Hey,
I did.
What?
I did. I haven't seen her on Facebook in like a while. I'm like, oh,
Email, text, call.
I texted her. She was somebody I met one time, and then for some reason we didn't really meet up or whatever it was. And I felt like, honestly, I felt like badly for not like reaching out, and I wanted to make good, because if I disappoint somebody or something like that, I want to like at least go, hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. This is what's going on in my life. Not really an excuse, but still. And then it just kind of turned into this whole, I don't know, maybe that made me look like somewhat of a, decent person in the end, or had some integrity in that.
What was your
But
opening line on the text?
I said, hey, I haven't seen you on, there's probably something like, hey, I haven't seen you on Facebook in a while, and it was really nice to see you, and it seems like you're up to a lot of cool things, and I just wanted to say hello. And then she was like, hey, who's
There you go.
this?
Did she say
You
who
got to identify yourself.
And I said, it's me.
identify yourself?
She was happy to know it was me, though. She was like, oh, okay. And then
Everybody hates getting those mysterious texts. You're 4 phones in, the number comes up as nobody and it's like, hey, how you doing?
Well, I gave a little more than, hey, you up. I was like, hey, what's up?
Yeah,
You're so
hey,
lucky.
that's
You're
the big one. Well, wait. So had you guys exchanged numbers before? So you should have been in her phone.
Yes, that's why I did it. So, and I get it, maybe you transferred data or something like that, or maybe she was like, he's not going to call me back and deleted it or whatever it was.
No, I mean, I got 2 phones. I'm rolling with 2 phones. This one's got everything in it. This one's got 82% of everything. For whatever reason, when I kissed them together, they did not transfer.
Yeah. So whatever the reason, she was happy to talk to me. And then then I also said, yeah, I felt badly for not talking. Here's what was going on at the time. And she understood. I said, well, it's no excuse. And I just wanted to reach out and say, and then it just like, I wasn't, to be honest, I was actually just trying to rectify a situation that I felt like I could have done better on. And it ended up blossoming into something a lot more.
How old are you, Austin?
I'm 33. I'm going to be 33 in February.
Okay. Because you don't hear a lot. Okay. I will say, when I say you, women, we women don't hear a lot of men talking and speaking about integrity. So excuse me for a minute while I wrap my brain around a man trying to own integrity.
Yeah.
Who are you? What?
I made him simple. I mean, I made a mistake. I know there's something I could.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. There's a little disconnect. If you don't mind me jumping in, what did you do that you thought was wrong? I mean, you guys know each other from.
Follow up with her.
So
yeah, but there's something else.
No, it wasn't like this malicious whatever thing. Literally, it was. We met. We didn't connect. She reached out to me maybe 2 months later. And I said, sure, let's get together. And then all this stuff happened where I left HSN, went down literally the weekend. And I got very distracted
now the pieces
for jobs, looking for, so my whole life was whatever. And I'm like, and then I got a new job. And by then,
so you were apologizing because it looked like you were beginning a little relationship. Then you got distracted, which is everybody has, you're selling, you're doing, you're moving, whatever. Then
it wasn't even that. It was more like, hey, let's go hang out. Like literally is all it was.
No, I get it. It was a soft open. It wasn't a hard, whatever.
Yeah. I still felt badly for doing that. And I said that, and she was like, nah, I was doing my thing and, being nice about it, but it's like, but at least in the end, like whatever would have happened, I would have felt better about myself if I at least said that once I saw it. That's really what I felt like.
Very good.
No, that's very good because, we women, as you men do, we like to make up stories in our head. And so if we don't hear back from you, the first thing we go to is, oh, he's looking at his phone all the fucking time. He looks at it when he's on the toilet. He doesn't have 5 seconds to send me a text, go fuck this guy. So the fact that you owned it and talked about it and called it out, it's really big because a lot of guys just honestly don't do that. They do the I was busy. I go fuck yourself. We're all busy. We
are
5 seconds to send a text.
Yeah, we are. And that's why I came back, and I'm glad it worked out in the end and everything like that. And
there you go.
Now things are going well.
I love it. So nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. Is she an older gal?
Well, roughly the same age. I think she's like a year and a half older than me
or
whatever. So good for her, right?
Right. Robbing the cradle.
I've dated anybody my age or older than me, not even once.
You've always dated younger?
Well, I mean, I'm very old, so it's easy to do. In January, I'll be 60. I'm 59. So to date older doesn't really work for me because a lot of guys from that era,
are dead.
They're dead, but Tom's an exception because they're done. They've done their careers. They're tired. They're ready to rest, right?
Yeah.
To relax.
We're tired.
You're tired. And I'm not really interested in that right now. So I've never been drawn to older guys just because of that fact,
No, it's interesting. Energy is everything.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
I mean, I dated a 52-year-old gal who was like, oh, I'm 52. It's like 52. That's nothing.
She's such a baby.
Yeah. And then I dated a 60-year-old woman who was like, she's on a treadmill. Go, go, go.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So then you guys have an understanding then? Are you exclusive at this point?
Or me and Austin?
Me and Tom. Sorry, Tom, we're not exclusive.
You're going to do other podcasts?
Yeah. I mean, we made the official, so I got to friend you, Melinda, after this. We, no, don't. Oh, okay. Too much love.
I've got her on a tight leash.
No, we made it like exclusive. We had that long talk. We talked about everything.
That's
really
nice.
Great. Talk about how it could work and like logistically, all that boring stuff, and which was great. So literally everything's on the table, and there's not like necessary height, but things you might feel insecure about, or she might feel insecure about, whatever. It's like that's all gone.
Nice.
Those are things you can use against her during arguments. That's quite wonderful.
Well, I don't argue with her that much, but the ones I do argue and I win are the pop culture arguments. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Love it. So then, had she watched your podcast previously?
So the thing is, I'll say this: she's so supportive. This is why I really care about her is that she's so
Oh,
supportive.
I thought he was going to drop the L bomb.
I may have already, but the
This is why I find her so supportive.
I'm very careful. I'm good now. Okay. I've learned things or two. But yeah, she's very supportive of podcasts and stuff like that. And the current one she's in on, and I feel like that's part of
Oh, that's fun.
Well, she's not like in on the pod, but she's like playing along. She's like filling out the bracket and playing along with season 2. And I think like different things are different to different people. So she's like, yeah, I'll do Christmas songs. That sounds great. And I printed her out and said, listen ahead. So, and if I'm like watching a TV show for a podcast or something like that, like if I'm doing top whatever, this and that, I'll be like, okay, we're watching this for all our lunch breaks. She's like, okay. And then we'll watch it. I was like, this is fun. It's like,
That's nice.
So, she's super supportive. And I think she does trust me on the pop culture front because I go, oh, I think you might like this or, and I'm right usually, whether it's a game or a TV show, whatever. So.
Well, very good. Well, give your podcast one more shout out, please.
Sure. And first of all, you both are welcome. If you guys want to throw out any suggestions to me or ever want to be on for a season, that'd be wonderful. The podcast is called Pointless 64. You can find it on basically any podcast streaming services that you want to that you use on a daily basis. Your apps, stream it, download it, whatever. We take 64 or something, put it in a bracket, and we do it season by season. 6 episodes each season. And this season we have Christmas songs. So I hope you play along with us. The first episode's already out. Just print out your bracket, play along with us, and see if your favorite Christmas song wins in the end.
Are you on video at all?
We are not doing video. No, we're not doing video. As of now, we'll never know. Maybe later down the road. So.
No, I love it. I will definitely start following you and recommend you to my friends. I love it.
Thank you so much, Melinda.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, Austin. We're going to say goodbye, and then Melinda and I will have 5 minutes before the Zoom kicks us off.
All right, I'll hit that leave button, and I'll thanks for having me on, guys, and close it out real good for me. Okay.
You bet.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Austin. Bye. Well, how lovely.
There you go.
The youth. Oh, the youth today.
Oh, young lovers, wherever you are.
Do you think not culturally, I'm going to say in his age category, do you think, because he said he's like young 30s, that the men today in their 30s are more verbal and express their feelings more than maybe from our era? Like when you were in your 30s, do you feel like you were the kind of guy that could have those kinds of discussions?
Well, I know that my kids are now they're 25, soon to be 26 and 23, blah, 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 blah. They have no problems, expressing emotions and conversations and all that stuff. So I think that, which to everyone's credit, we're all, the more examined we are with our lives and looking at our, what makes you tick and what drives the bus, and am I being proactive or reactive? It's all, self-examination. I'm not going to say everybody's that way, but I see it. And I think it's, the earlier you can get on that train, the better. I mean, I had so many revelations as I got older. It's like in my 50s and 60s. That's like, wow, that would have been handy to kind of have that idea about life when I was in my 30s.
Right. I just read a thing from a woman on Facebook I started following because I thought she was very interesting. She's a public figure, and she said, a lot of women, if they want to be honest, go for like the very charming, the very, very super attractive guys, and then they get upset because they cheat or they lie, but they're not drawn to the good guys, and the good guys are the stable guys. And that's something, even though it's a cliche, I never really bought into it until I was older. I realized that was very, very true. That
everybody wants a shiny car, and then they complain that it can't make it over a rough road.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Corvette. That's made to go fast and fun, but it's not the one that's going to carry your groceries home.
Right.
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 But it's interesting when you're looking for partnership, everybody wants chemistry, and it's easier to have chemistry with something that's attractive. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sexually attracted to this, person, but it may not be the right person. But it's, you could almost say that, having people get put together by people that they know almost would make more sense than just having people independently running around. Of course, It's nice to have that freedom, but it's interesting to say, oh yeah, I know this woman. Oh, I know this guy. Yeah, let's match them up. They're good. They would be good together. They would balance each other. He's he's high strung and she's slow and steady. And, they would, bring the best out of each person. That would be interesting to see that, but we're allowed, we're allowed to go out and just pick out who we want. So everybody wants a shiny car. Everybody wants a 6 foot tall blonde model. Everybody wants the strapping guy that makes a lot of money in the tech industry.
Right. Maybe when the pandemic clears up, maybe we should experiment with that, Tom, and have people fix us up with people they think we would be good for. I think that would be fascinating to see. I've generally poo-pooed that because I don't like people controlling my narrative, but clearly I've not done well with it on my own.
That's an interesting dynamic. It's an interesting thing. Well, here's the problem, right?
Yes.
I would have a hard time hooking a buddy of mine up. Let's say I was going to pick a person for somebody. It's like, oh, this woman's a 9.5. I'd have a hard time matching a buddy up with somebody who I think was, who I think, oh, I would like to go out with her, but she's over my pay grade. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, just to see. I've had people in the past say, oh, check out so-and-so, he's a great guy. And I would check him out and go, why? What? I don't understand what that is.
Too often it's their dating rejects that they want you to, you know what? Yeah, he's not good for me, but he'd be great for you. It's like, really?
Finish with this one.
Yeah.
Let's
see. Yeah. So it's like,
the other thing is too, you talked about the questions that you said that you had gone out with someone that had questions, right? And you answered some questions about compatibility. Am I making this up? Am I lying? I feel like you said that there was someone that had questions and you filled out questions.
In this podcast? Oh, no. Oh, no. I did date somebody who we went to a website and filled out like 50 questions. Yes. And then it was, we matched compatibility based on that question. And we did come up compatible, but I thought it was odd that they did reveal everybody, all your answers to all your questions, which I thought it was just be a blind thing.
I don't know that that's way too much information. I don't know that I'd feel cool about that.
But it was fun to do it.
Yeah, I love that idea because I feel like, at least in my experience, I'm clearly not asking the right questions because I'm ending up with people that absolutely don't work for me on most levels. It's just that initial like, oh, how fun, how charming, and then, So I would be interested in that questionnaire just to see maybe the deeper levels of what we need to explore.
Let me see if I can find that on an old tech. That would be a couple years old.
Yeah. So I feel like your thing is saying we have less than a minute. Is that accurate?
We're down to 1 minute and 49 seconds.
How do you want to wrap this up? So.
Well, can't do a topic. No. I was going to talk about hoarding. Malcolm Gladwell. I love Malcolm Gladwell. He's got great podcasts. I can recommend that. What would one of your topics?
I don't know if I have any. All right, really quickly, do you have favorite holiday decorations? This is why I set this out, Tom. Can you tell what this is?
It's something that was sprayed with a glue or cloth it's homemade.
What does it look like?
It looks like someone praying.
Yeah, it's an angel.
Oh, with a lollipop head.
I made this in 2nd grade.
No way.
Yes.
How nice is that?
Yeah. It's one of the few things I have from my childhood because we moved a lot. I made it in Hawaii, and it was one of those things that I've been lucky enough to keep forever. So this is one of my favorite holiday decorations. I like to bring it out every year, and just makes me super happy.
Really? How nice is that?
Yeah. Favorite holiday decoration?
We used to have the angel that used to make its way on the tree, and then we got divorced, and half the stuff went over there, and half come over me, and so. Favorite holiday? The short answer is no, I don't. But we got 10 seconds.
Okay, start one this year. I'm Melinda McKinsey.
I'm Tom Wise.
Thanks for unpacking some shit with us today.
And then we'll see you next Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
Timer's done.
Bring it.
The show's done. Take it out of the oven.
Yeah.
And stop recording.